Welcome back to 2 Cents We See Scary Movies, where the fake blood might be corn syrup, but the fear is always real. I'm Talon. If there's a wrong door to open, a creepy noise to follow, or a killer to insult, I'm your girl. With me is Dan, who thinks haunted house is just another way to describe being around people. This week, we're taking a tour through Haunt, a Halloween attraction that promises screams, delivers I've got daddy issues energy, and proves once again that nothing good ever comes from signing a waiver. Let's get into it.
All right, so Haunt starts off with, we see a man like doing some drilling and welding, just putting something together, kind of like one of those like 80s montage videos where, they're preparing for the bad guy. We see a bunch of masks sitting behind him while he works. I don't know what all the masks were, but one of them was a clown mask. And we see ads for an extreme haunted house printing up off of their printer. And he's also appearing to set up some sort of tripwire. Now, the haunted house flyers do say it's an extreme haunted house, so the tripwire does make sense to a degree, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's pretty extreme. I mean, it's not super extreme, but typically you're
right,
not expecting to trip over in a haunted house on purpose.
right. So now we're on a suburban street in Carbondale, Illinois, and we have a prompt that comes up saying the campus is closing. I don't know what campus closes around Halloween time, but apparently this one does.
Halloween must be a big deal in that town.
Must be. We're going through the town. We're seeing some shots of Pumpkin. We end up stopping at this one house. All of a sudden, Pumpkin comes flying out of the air and it hits the door and it smashes all over the place. A young girl in a cat costume looks at the door and opens it after it gets banged on. A truck drives away and she's yelling to Harper, who happens to be upstairs putting makeup on over a black eye. Where she got that, we don't know yet. We hear a muffled voice. There's Harper in this room and she turns on Night of the Living Dead. Fucking love that movie. So there's a big knock on her bedroom door. The cat girl, which we learn later is Bailey, if her boyfriend threw a pumpkin at their door. She's like, oh no, that's not something he'd do. Cat girl grabs the phone. Well, or I should say Bailey grabs her phone. She's like, you should break up with him. And she types in, it's over, but doesn't send it yet. Harper's making excuses. Well, he's just an alcoholic. That's it. He's just an alcoholic. Is that where your black eye came from, Harper?
Right.
You never know. No, I mean, the guy doesn't see. I mean, he's just an alcoholic. So Bailey said that she came into the room last night after they both passed out and saw the black eye on Harper's face, assuming that maybe before they went to bed that there was no black eye. Now, I have sleep apnea, and from what I understand, when I didn't have my machine, I used to flail around a lot. And so my ex-wife would get the brunt of it. I had no idea because I was completely asleep. Maybe that's what her boyfriend has. And it's just not treated. And he's just like flailing around.
Yeah, it could be flashbacks or something from Nam.
So Harper looks somewhat defeated and she asks Bailey, did you see the bruise? She kind of said that she did, but yeah.
She was saying, do you see a bruise? Because she covered it up with makeup. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense now. But yeah, did you see the bruise? So we have two other girls that pop in. One of them is Mallory, and the other one doesn't really say their name throughout the movie. And I don't ever recall it being said in the subtitles, but her name is Angela. Oh, okay. The only reason why I know that is because I went to faithful IMDb and because I had to sort out some names because by the end it got a little confusing. So the two girls pop in and I believe Mallory, it appears that she's some sort of medical student. Ironically, she's dressed up as a nurse for Halloween.
Gleaned a whole lot of shit from everybody in her family who seems to be in the medical profession.
Correct.
Yeah.
She pops in and she's like, oh, the orbital plate on your face was swelling. And a bunch of other medical stuff. She says, oh, Harper, you should come out with us. And Harper's like, it'll be weird without a costume. It's weird if you have a black eye.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, if you take the makeup off, you could pretend that's your costume, like you're a boxer or something.
Right. I mean, and by no means am I trying to make light of domestic violence because, that is horrible shit. But just some of the things that the writers put in here along with, the things that are happening, sometimes it just doesn't make sense to me. And so I make fun of it.
Yeah, there was some stuff later on that I was like, are they doing what I think they're doing?
Right.
I was like, what the heck?
And so that's our weekly disclaimer of that we're really not horrible people. We just have random thoughts when we're talking about this stuff.
Right.
All right, so Mallory's like, oh, it's Halloween. Weird is good. All the while, Harper's looking at her phone and looking at the text conversation between her and her boyfriend, who says his name is Sam. It appears that he's a little angry that she's not speaking to him. So all the other girls leave, and she watches a little bit more of Night of the Living Dead. It's a part where Barbara is, and it's the old version, the black and white version, and Barbara's in the house telling all the people in the house about how one of the zombies grabbed her. She's like the part where she's freaking out. It's like, he grabbed me, he grabbed me. And Harper looks at her phone and sends the "it's over" text that Bailey had typed in.
Mhm.
So now we're at the bar with the four girls, having a grand old time, shooting shots and all this other stuff. And we see that they're drinking spider vodka. And apparently there's a tarantula in the bottom of the bottle, kind of like a tequila worm.
Right.
But it's a spider,
Did you
and
happen to
one of
look up
them's
to see if
talking.
that thing is real?
I
Is
did
that a
not.
real thing? I didn't either.
I did not. But so one of them's talking about how she's freaked out by spiders and yada yada yada. Who knows? It could be the same spider from Fever Lake. You never know.
Ooh, I bet that's one busy spider.
It is.
He's probably part of SAG.
It certainly likes to party. So they're having selfies and all kinds of fun. Bailey ends up walking over and greets two guys. She ends up passing by one and goes to the other, and the one she walks past seems a little dejected. So he's looking at Harper and he's with someone over. At this point, we learn that his name is Nathan. Harper crawls under the table towards him, and they awkwardly greet each other like, hey. Hey, Nathan's like, what do you want? She's like, well, you waved me over here after Bailey walked off. He's like, nah, I was just trying to get another drink, man. Harper was all concerned that she was going to feel weird. Now she's feeling foolish because she thought this cute guy was calling her
Yeah.
over and he just wanted alcohol. Then he asks, how do you know Bailey? She explains, oh, yeah, she's my roommate and shit. And he's like, oh, yeah, I've heard of you. And then we hear a big bang. We see a guy named Evan who's like really mad at something, and he's punching at drinks, and one of them flies over and gets all over Harper. Again, she was afraid to feel weird. Now she's embarrassed. We know that this guy's name is Evan because Nathan says, what the hell, Evan? Nathan apologizes, on Evan's behalf. And the reason why Evan is so upset is because two of his costume partners didn't show up, so he cannot complete his human centipede costume.
Right.
So that was his big upset. And they're
Right.
telling him there's people who probably don't want to be on the ass end of the human centipede because he was the head of it, which is totally understandable. Like, I wouldn't want to be the middle person. And at this time, I don't know if like nobody likes Evan or if they're just annoyed by him, but they don't really look like that they're really enjoying their time with him at this point.
Mhm.
So Harper looks at her phone and there's a photo underneath Sam's stuff saying, guess my costume. And she's like all weirded out by it. And we never really find out what the costume was.
Yeah, I really tried looking hard at that picture to figure out what the fuck it was, and I don't know, and they never reveled it. It's the
No.
ultimate mystery for the rest of my life. It's gonna be nagging at me. What was that costume? I don't think I'll be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah, that's gonna be a rough one.
My watch
That's
is gonna be
a
like,
rough one.
"Man, you slept like shit last night. Was it because you couldn't figure out what that costume was?" I'll be, "Yeah."
Yeah. I mean,
Or
if Amazon can't help you out,
yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Now I feel happy again. All right.
it's those deals days. They make you happy.
You feel so good and warm.
So now Harper's outside in an alley, and we see this guy closing up a gate, and she's trying to text on her phone. Apparently, it's her Uber or whatever driving service they decided to call it here. Then there's a man in a red robe that shows up to the gate, and he's just like looking at her. Nathan comes out and scares the shit out of her. And the guy in the red robe is gone at this point. Like, I don't know if he ran away or disappeared or whatever, but he's gone.
Right. At this point, I thought it was closed and everybody had left, and they left her. I was like,
Right.
why are her friends just leaving her here? It's like,
Right. It
how
was
weird.
it was an awkward, needless scene.
Yeah, it
quite
was.
honest.
It was a very pointless scene. They could have all just walked out together and been done with it.
Right. And Nathan, which I didn't discuss earlier, he's just in a plain baseball uniform for a costume. He's bragging about how he won the worst costume award. Because I guess now he wants to flirt with Harper. Maybe the alcohol kicked in finally. He's just like, hey. I mean, not that she's an ugly girl or anything, but,
Right,
obviously he wasn't that interested in her in the beginning, but now, the alcohol's like, "Hey."
right. And that
So
big bag
this
of stuff he won, we never see it again. I
right,
was
no,
bummed. I wanted to know what the fuck was in that bag too.
right,
Another mystery never solved.
exactly. It's almost like Pulp Fiction and what's in the briefcase, you never know.
It's
You
right
just
up
have
there with that.
theories. You just have theories, you don't really know, it could be Marcel's soul. Maybe that's what the bag is, it's Marcel's soul. It just
Right.
was pushed onto this. Uh, so there's more awkward dating talk. I have really no patience for all that shit.
Well, there's a slightly significant thing here because this is where apparently he got hit with the line drive to the temple and it fucked up his face, although I couldn't tell, his face looked just fine. And she even said it looked just fine. That was, like, the scariest thing that ever happened to him, and he asked her, "Hasn't anything scary ever happened to you? What's the scariest thing?" And she's like, I don't
Right,
know, I don't know." And he's like, "You never had
right.
anything scary happen to you?" She's like, "Well, I had a really good childhood."
Yeah, and at that point, we see a shot of a white picket fence house,
Mhm.
and it just briefly flashes, and she's discussing her childhood and how good it was with her parents. And she corrects it and says, "Well, she had." Then we hear, like, a weird noise, and they both look to see trick-or-treaters, like, running around. So now the friend group is all together again, talking about random crap. Like, whatever was going on in the alley was all
Mhm.
done, and they're all back together again, and they're walking down the road together. So, again, a completely worthless and needless scene in that respect. I mean, they could have introduced all the parent conversation in a different way,
They
but
could have
they
just had it
chose
in the
not to.
car.
They could have had it in the car as well,
Or while they were
correct.
walking down the street, the 2 of them could've been lagging behind a little bit, just had a
Right.
little chit chat about it.
So as they're talking, Evan finds one of the extreme haunted house flyers and is like, "Hey, let's go do that." Most of the people are like, "Nah, we're good." They all end up in a car driving towards it. There was no, "Oh, come on." There was no pushing. There was no nothing. It was just they said no, and then they're in the car driving to it.
Well, it was kinda half and half. The other 2 girls, Mallory and Angela, they
Yeah.
wanted to go. Bailey and Harper didn't wanna go, and I don't even know what Nathan wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't think Nathan really gave a shit at that
Yeah.
point.
But there was really no, like it was like, "No, yeah, okay, let's go." Like, all of a sudden
Right,
they're in a car.
right. Because usually it's like, "Oh, come on, what's the worst that could happen?" But now it's just like, "No, no, yes, yes, okay, we'll go." Twist my arm.
Yeah.
We see the same truck that peeled out after the pumpkin throwing incident is following them now. Harper's looking out the window and sees the truck following. She asks for them to turn around, and the truck follows. She's constantly looking like she's in fear at this
Yeah.
point, which also, by the way, I mean, she was completely soaked and now she's completely dry.
Yeah, it could be waterproof. Maybe it's waterproof. They do make that.
So Harper again asks if anybody else saw the truck. No one's answering. There's a long, dark pause, and then we hear a big noise again. They stop. There's a set of lights that come on, and it says haunted house. They drive towards the road and end up at the haunted house, which I thought is kind of odd because, like, most haunted houses at this time of year, and the fact it's supposed to be Halloween, would be insanely packed.
Yeah, there'd be a line out on the regular road. I've been
Oh,
to plenty where it's like that, yeah. There was, like, 1
abs
car there and 1 group in front of them.
Right. So there was really nothing going on at this haunted house, especially with how many flyers were being printed
Yeah,
off. So, as stated, there's a small line. There's like another group of people. Harper is hesitant, as everybody else is excitedly complaining about it, which I thought was really weird, because they're excited about it, but they're complaining at the same time. It's like, you do
yeah,
it or don't.
right. Yeah, she and Bailey were the 2 that were really not wanting to do it.
Right. So they all approach towards the house and they see a guy in a clown costume. They're trying to talk to him and he's just quietly standing there. The group is asking about tickets and, the clown is just still staring at them. He ends up lifting his hands and as if to say, pick a hand, any hand.
Mhm,
And so Bailey ends up selecting one hand. There was nothing in it. Bailey selects the other hand and there was nothing in it. The clown just stares at her and does the what's behind your ear trick,
mhm,
but he's not talking. He's just doing it very slow and creepily. And
mhm.
he pulls out a key. That's where I put my keys.
I have a
So
little hook behind
Bailey, haha,
I have a little hook behind my ear, right.
it's one of those body modification things.
Yeah, I'm all into that. I just put them in places no one can see them.
Right, right, right. Everybody has their kinks. So Bailey walks over to the lockbox because we're finding out non verbally that they have to sign waivers and they have to stash their phones, but there's nobody saying any of this to them. She just instinctually knew that she had to go over to the lockbox.
Well, no,
And
he pointed to it, and then did the whole trick with the key. She went and unlocked it. Inside that was the thing that had the papers that they with the rate waivers on them. And so and then they you can keep going. The phone thing, I guess.
always ruining my vibe. Okay, so the clown did point at it, because I did forget about that. The clown did point at it, and she got the box open, and there was a bunch of clipboards with waivers, and she's reading the waivers, and it's kind of like something you get from a Cammy Manor. We can't be responsible for you getting
Right.
hurt. You're going to be subjected to some nasty stuff. You can't sue us if anything happens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Don't touch anybody. It was kinda your basic
right,
regular old thing, like, don't touch anybody, don't this, don't that, blah, blah, blah.
right.
Yeah.
So as they're going over the waiver, they end up hearing like a loud scream coming from inside, and they're excited now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this sounds awesome. So when they're done doing all their stuff, they had to put their phones in the lockbox because they couldn't bring them in with them. So as they approach the door, we hear maniacal screaming and laughter. They walk through, and we see a typical haunted house sort of setup. The fake spider webs and creepy, furnishings and whatnot. And Evan ends up making fun of Bailey because a skeleton pops out and scares the crap out of her.
Mhm,
She ends up putting her cat ears on the skeleton,
mhm.
and they're walking through this disorienting room. It's like that room like where you're walking through and it has like the spiral, so it makes it
Oh,
look like
I love those
the
rooms.
entire room is spinning.
Yeah.
Harper looks a bit scared of it, but she's going through it anyway, which I understand because those rooms hit me. It depends on like what's going on with me or whatever. Like there's some
Mhm.
times where they don't bother me, and then there's other times like, oh my God, this sucks.
I love them because I'll go through without holding on to the rails, and it automatically makes my entire body want to bend in half. So I bend over the rail, and then I walk myself down until I get to the end.
Again, everybody has their kinks.
I love it.
So she ends up approaching the final door on the other side, and she hears some like subtle chatter going on. The group goes into another room where Evan finds a glass wall, and the way he finds it is he bounces off it. Is this where they had Mallory?
No, no, no. This
Oh,
girl was
okay.
actually in the group right before them.
Yep, yep.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, they come across a woman in a mask, a witch's mask, that is pulling a tarp that appears to have somebody wrapped up in it. She unwraps the tarp, and we see the girl that was in line when they first showed up to the haunt. The witch picks up a hot fire poker while the girl is screaming. Harper's really creeped out. What you're going to learn is Harper is scared and creeped out a lot in this movie. Although she is portrayed as a strong, like Laurie Strode type character, she's very
uh-huh.
creeped out and scared through the whole.
Yeah, she's scared but still strong. Yeah,
Right.
it's a conundrum.
Exactly. The witch pushes the fire poker in the girl's face. A bunch of smoke appears, and then the witch and the girl disappear. Another door opens for them to walk through. They're at a maze intersection. One says safe, the other says is not safe. So they do the right thing and they split up.
Right.
Harper doesn't know exactly where she wants to go, but she ends up following Mallory and Angela.
Mm-mm.
I wrote Mallory.
It's so when they got to the point where they had to figure out which way to go, Nathan decided 3 of them were gonna go one way and 3 were gonna go the other way, and one way
Fucking
was
Nathan.
yeah. It was weird. I was like, "Why is he deciding who's going which way?" Evan, Harper, and
Mallory.
Mallory go one way. Bailey, Nathan, and Angela go safe. They go to the safe way, and the other 3 go the not safe way.
Okay, so I was partially right. She followed Mallory.
Yeah,
It just wasn't
Mallory
the
and
safe
Evan.
way.
Yeah, Mallory
Right.
and Evan went the not safe way. Yeah.
Which is really smart.
Mhm,
And this area has a whole bunch of real spiders in it,
mhm,
which Mallory's not a fan of. They come to 3 coffins. Bailey is in a room where there's a lot of bags with oil hanging from the top of it. And the
uh-huh.
reason why you know it's oil is it's dripping down and she touches it. And
Yeah.
it's also on the walls and stuff.
Dripped on Nathan's shirt.
Right.
She was like, "What is that?" And she touched it, and they thought it was, like, fake oil fake paint for, like, blood, I guess. She's
Yeah.
like, "No, this is oil." And they're like,
Yeah.
"Is it? It's probably because it's cheaper than paint." And she's like, "No, it's not cheaper than paint."
Yeah, we're dealing with a bunch of, brainiacs here. I mean,
Right, because
obviously they're not in. Go ahead.
it was tons of oil. The walls were covered in oil. There were big
Yeah.
bags of oil
Yeah, it's
hanging
like
above
3
them.
3 huge trash
Yeah,
bags, 4 like
it's like
3 or 4. You can definitely tell these kids aren't going to school for their master's degrees in anything.
right.
They open up the coffins that they come across, and there's nothing in them. They realize that it could be a puzzle of some sort.
Now we're going
Weird.
back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It gets a little confusing between the back and forth,
yeah,
yes.
because we're back now over to the people with the not safe way. We're bailing them with the oil was in the safe way.
Right. Which really, neither way is safe if you really put it that way.
Right.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Maybe. I was thinking that maybe they were gonna be like the safe way was just to fake them out, and they were gonna actually be the worst way was the safe
Right,
way, and then the other way was gonna be fine. But that isn't how it turned out.
right. So they open up all the coffins. Harper looks a bit confused because there's nothing in them. And as they're opening and closing the doors, Mallory hears a noise behind one of them as if there's a door opening and closing. Harper thinks there's a door that only opens when the coffin is closed.
Oh.
So that helps.
Uh-huh.
Evan goes into the said coffin of interest to check it out. They close the door. Harper listens and hears the other door open, and Evan says, "It worked." Harper is scared again. She appears to be slightly claustrophobic
Mhm.
when she's sitting in the coffin. She yells to Mallory that she's gone through. Like everything's fine. She made it through. So now it's Mallory's turn. She gets into the coffin and she's waiting for a considerable amount of time. Nothing's happening. A blue light appears over her head. It looks like there's a little hatch on the top, and there's a tarantula sitting on top, and then a bunch of spiders start falling on her. For someone who's afraid of spiders the way she says, she's not freaking out quite as bad as one would think.
But they knew that girl was afraid of some spiders.
Correct.
Yeah.
Maybe they were in the bar. Who knows?
Oh, maybe.
That the people who were in the haunts, maybe they overheard her.
Perhaps.
So she finally gets through the door, and they're in a blue room. Evan finds some sort of receipt on the ground listing out the masks and like some of the stuff that the haunts people bought for the thing. And so he feels slightly better because he feels like it's all game.
Yeah, he makes Angela feel better because she's freaking out because she's, like, wiping all the spiders off of her, and he's like, "This receipt, they bought spiders. They're not real. They're not real." So
Right.
he's, like, trying to help her feel better too. Better
Yeah.
too.
And we see a passage on the wall. There's a bunch of arrows pointing at it, almost like that meme where it says like free hugs and it's like a couple arrows pointing to like a black hole.
Right.
That's what it reminded me of, just with a lot more arrows and no free hugs.
Yeah.
Harper is completely noped out. She's like, "Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm not doing it."
Mm.
And I kind of agree with her on that, at
Yeah.
this point, because whether this whole thing is fake or not, like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I will sit here and die,
Yeah.
rather than go through that hole. Evan says, "Hey, I'll go first." Now we're over at the Bailey's group and they're messing with a two-way mirror. Was that a quick scene where they were messing with a two-way mirror and then all of a sudden we're back to Harper again? Because they did a lot of that.
Yeah, they were looking at the mirror. He touched it. They realized there was no gap, so they were like, "Oh, it's a two-way mirror." And it was also one of those kind of fun mirrors that make you look funny. But
Right.
it was just a quick little nothing scene.
Yeah, another one of those scenes that they really could have done without.
Yeah.
So now we're back to Harper, and she reluctantly goes through the passageway while Evan and Mallory are already going through. Evan finds the way where they're supposed to go. Harper and Mallory follow him because I guess he's become the leader of their group, even though he's not the brightest person in the whole movie. We hear a creaking sound, almost as if it was some sort of animal. Harper asks, "Who's there?" as if they're going to answer. Again, when you yell out to the void and say, "Who is it?" It's not like they're going to yell out and say, "It's me, Steve." You know,
"Who's Steve?"
"I'm your mom's friend. Remember me?"
Like, does it matter who it is?
Right. You hear a
I don't even
noise.
know who it is anyway.
It's like, I don't give a shit. Just keep going. I don't care who it is. It could be Gandhi giving me $10 million. I'm out.
Would Gandhi have 10 million?
No, but that's what I'm saying, is if Gandhi showed up and he had $10 million and he's like,
That's fake.
"Here, this is yours because I'm not going to take it." I don't care. Fuck you, Gandhi. So they all get through to the next room. Mallory seems to be missing again because Mallory keeps disappearing. Mallory was stuck in the coffin.
Yeah.
That's where she disappeared the first time, and now she's disappeared again.
Yeah, this girl needs to be in the middle.
We're back at Bailey's group, and they see 3 holes in the wall and a bunch of like X-rays and like MRIs and shit. I believe it's Angela goes first, and she scares the group because she puts her arm through and she's like pretending that she's being grabbed or whatever. We
Right.
find out, oh, it's a funny joke. We're not in like this creepy place. We don't know what's going on, but ha 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 ha, let's joke around and traumatize each other. Which in this case, I probably would too.
Right, yeah.
Um,
I feel like that's the thing to do in that instance. When there's a hole in the wall and you have to stick your whole arm in there,
right.
someone's gonna act like, oh my god, something's at my
Right.
arm." Yeah,
Right.
always. It's classic.
So Nathan is up next. He reaches in pretty far. He's describing like, oh, it's small, it's smooth and squishy. Like, oh, do you have Evan's balls? He pulls out a grape. Now he doesn't know where this grape was.
I know.
And he ends up eating it anyway. He
Right,
doesn't know if it's laced. He doesn't know how old it is. He doesn't know if it's been up someone's rectum.
Right. I was like, "He's gonna eat that?" I was like, "What?" Of all the things I wouldn't do in this house is eat the food. I wouldn't eat some
Correct.
random food that I just pulled out of a hole that I don't know anything about or anything about the people that put it there. Like, what?
Correct. I mean, it's bad enough what they're going through. Not going to eat the food. Bailey reaches in and she's looking all confused. She doesn't feel anything. She moves her arm around, moves it in a little further, and she's like, it's not working. She reaches in again because she pulled out a little bit. Then she goes back in, she gives up. And when she pulls her arm out, she realizes that she lost the ring that she was wearing, which happened to be Harper's mother's ring, which she borrowed from the night before for her costume that we didn't discuss earlier. That was why she was in Harper's bedroom and she saw the black eye and all that stuff because she was there stealing jewelry.
Yeah. I thought she was dressed as a cat, but I think she was dressed as a cat burglar.
Well, at one point throughout the scene, you hear that it fell because you hear like a little clink. Nathan also puts his hand in to try to help. He says that somebody touched him because he feels somebody brushed by or whatever. He bangs against the wall, screaming. Then he starts laughing, like, "Oh, let's further traumatize the situation." Bailey is now freaking out completely because something actually does have her. She finally gets her arm out. There's a little delay, but we're looking at her arm, and there's like a razor sharp line on her arm, and it's starting to bleed. Harper and Evan are yelling at Mallory as she's still missing because now we're back to Harper and Evan.
Yeah.
And the guy in the red robe shows up. Evan says, their friend is in there. Can you help us find him? Not really thinking anything of it because they still think that this is a hardy har situation.
Yeah.
He doesn't speak, but turns on the electricity to another door, the electricity being the lights, for them to continue on that way. He follows them a little bit. Harper sees an emergency exit while they're walking towards that door. We hear loud banging from the door that's supposed to be going into, which is always comforting.
Yes.
Evan opens it and there's nothing there, but we hear chainsaw noises. They walk up some stairs to a bunch of speakers playing the noise. In the middle of the speakers, there's another hole that they have to go through in the wall. Mind you, like all these holes are black, ominous, like you can't see any lights coming from them whatsoever. Harper this time says, "I'll go first."
She gets all
Way to go,
ballsy.
Harper.
Mhm.
We find that it's a slide.
Cool.
She slides down, and there's a man with a chainsaw at the bottom. Basically, it's, a Walmart Leatherface.
Right.
As he's going to Harper, he stops when Evan comes out of the slide. Leatherface, not really his name in this, it's just my cutesy little nickname for him,
Right.
goes after Evan. Pretty hard, too. Like, he's actually, like, really going at him.
Right.
Evan pushes him away and says, you're in my safe space. As they're walking away, Evan picks up Harper off the ground and says, I shouldn't have pushed him. That's the least of your worries, but
Right.
maybe you shouldn't have pushed him. Keep your hands off. The haunt actor just stares at him as they walk off. Evan and Harper come to a red door and they go through it. The Bailey gang is in this room, yell at them not to let the door close, but they do, because that's what happens in every horror movie. It's like, don't close that door. Oh, fuck, it's closed.
Yeah.
They see Bailey's arm Like, "Oh my god, what happened?" She says, "Oh, it stopped hurting." So, I mean, that okay. Maybe she's lost enough blood where the pain
Yeah.
stops.
She doesn't feel anything anymore.
Right. They ask where Mallory is. The, witch appears with another girl wrapped in a tarp. Nathan is asking the person in the witch mask for help. We see that Mallory is in the tarp this time, and a fire
Ooh.
poker comes out again with from the witch is holding it. Everybody's upset about this. Mallory appears to be passed out at this point.
Yeah, she's out.
The witch pushes the fire poker through Mallory's head as the curtains close.
Mhm.
Everybody at this point is convinced what just happened is completely real. So another door opens. Ethan asks if they can get the key to get their phones. Harper is like, hey, I saw an emergency exit over here. Evan thinks he can pick the lock to the emergency exit. He was given a bobby pin. He tries as everybody anticipates his success,
No.
but the bobby pin breaks. Everybody's like, I thought I could pick locks. He's like, well, I could do it with lockers.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is not
good.
the emergency door, though. This is just the door in the room that they're in. The emergency door is back on the other floor above where the slide is. They have to
Oh,
go to
okay.
that one. This is just a
Okay, so
regular door. Yeah.
yeah, that's okay. That is legit my mistake. I
Yeah, and
I
this
thought there was an emergency door.
and this door, the lock, to them, they just think that is like a bolt lock. On one side,
Right,
you'd have a turn thing, and the other side, you can unlock it. So when he jumps up, he's like, "Well, I couldn't do it because it's a double lock because it's locks on both sides."
right. So Evan at this point thinks he can go find a crowbar so they could pry the door off its hinges. Nathan agrees to go try to find one. He comes up to an indoor alley. At least that's what it looks like, an indoor alley. This is the key that Bailey had. So he has the key and he puts it in his hand.
This is the lockbox key, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah, yeah.
lockbox
Mhm.
key. So he has the key in his hand as a weapon. Now, if we know anything about lockbox keys, they're typically not that long.
This one was huge.
This one was absolutely huge. I mean, this looked like, a door on top of a door sort of lock, like an extra long lock.
Right, this is like a have you ever seen a I think security deposit boxes? They kinda have slightly
Yes.
longer keys.
Yeah.
This was bigger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Although the box did look like a security box, like a
Mhm.
safety deposit box, but still,
Right,
like you said, this key is humongous compared to even that type of a key.
right.
The pipe next to him has holes in it. The only reason why that's pertinent is because it starts spewing out steam, which scares him a little bit. And we're back at the friend group, and they're all upset. They're not happy. Evan is looking for Mallory, even though they saw what happened. He's still trying to find her. He thinks he sees a trap door somewhere in this area. He asks for one of the girls to reach for the fire poker. None of that makes sense. Why did
Yeah,
I
this
write
is
all
wh
that?
so in this scene, because where Mallory was killed by that witch woman, this didn't have the glass. This had a chain link fence and then just a tarp, and he could see
Yeah,
through the tarp because there was, like, an opening, and he could see
right.
that fire poker, and I don't think there was a trap door in this. I think he was just I don't maybe there was a trap
Oh,
door here, but
well, I
there
did
was a trap
write
door in the other part.
that he thinks he sees a trapdoor.
Oh, yeah, 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 okay.
Okay.
So but he sees the poker, and so
Right.
his arm can't get through the space, so he asks, the nurse
Angela.
girl,
Yeah,
Angela, to
Angela.
reach in and get it.
As they're doing this, Nathan is walking through this part of a hallway, and it appears that there's a bunch of figures with sheets on them.
Those are ghosts, hello.
Not real ones.
Says who?
Real ones don't wear sheets. We all know that they wear the period clothes that they died in.
Whatever. The most ghost I know is from the Peanuts gang, and they had
What about the
feet.
ghostest with the mostest?
Oh, that one too, and
Beetlejuice?
that's right. And
Come
Casper.
on.
Casper, I remember Casper. So
Okay, so he sees a bunch of mannequins, or we can assume that they're mannequins with sheets on them. There's a figure that looks more human that's in the middle of all of these.
Mhm.
He walks slowly towards it when a loud hissing noise comes up from underneath him, scaring the keys out of his hands. Or
Dumbass.
I should say key, not keys, but
Right.
scares the key out of his hand, and it falls down a metal grate.
We have to believe, I mean, the way this is taking place, it's like we have to believe that the people who are running this haunt have anticipated in great detail and amazing accuracy exactly what these people are going to do. And the
Right.
fact that it just so happened that this guy came back up with the security box key, and they knew that if they blew this steam through this grate, he was going to jump and drop this key.
Right. They planned for everything.
They did. They were amazing.
I mean, I like having contingency plans, but these people had contingency plans for the contingency plans for the
Right.
backup plan that has a contingency plan as well,
I know.
on top of the contingency plan.
Right. These guys are amazing. Props.
So at this point, the figure that he sees is gone, and he appears to be mixed in with the others, which, he lost the key for nothing. He's going
Right.
after this guy for nothing if he's just gonna disappear.
Right.
I'm not gonna say that he's a ghost. Nathan walks towards a door, as one would, trying to find a way out, when a mannequin falls over. Now we see the person again, and he's walking back away from Nathan. Nathan's like, "Oh, can you help us? Can you help us?" And he's completely ignoring what Nathan has to say. The lights come on, and the ghost man asks if Nathan needs help. He only asked for help 2 seconds ago, and you're now asking him, do you need help? Maybe the 16 times I said, "Hey, can you help me and my friends?" isn't enough of a hint. So the ghost, which we will now call Mitch, because we later find out he calls himself Mitch. Nathan asks Mitch to come back and help his friends. Mitch says, "I gotta get something first." Don't know what he's talking about, because right now, Mitch seems helpful.
Right.
He seems like he's a nice guy. He wants
He
to
has a
help
kind
people out.
voice.
Very kind voice.
Mhm.
He's seemingly on the up and up right now. So he says he's got to get something. We're back at the friend group, and they're all crying at this point, except for Evan. But all the girls are crying, and Bailey's trying to explain the ring incident. This is where Harper starts talking about how she grew up in a haunted house, which she loved and hated at the same time. So now we go down memory lane. She says that she has good memories of the house, but it's also the house where he hurt her mom. And that's
Oh.
all she says. He hurt her mom. She says that I was hiding under a bed when he threw my mom across the floor, knocking her ring off her hand. So I suppose we can assume that, this is dad knocking around mom. Harper has recurring dreams about going back to the house, terrified of her dad. Ooh, deductive reasoning. But mom comes out and says dad is gone and the house is no longer haunted. So apparently dad was the ghost. The Scooby Gang didn't pick that one up.
No. Ruh-roh.
Angela is still trying for the poker while Evan is guiding her. Evan's really not helping out at this point. He's really not. He's just more moral support than anything
Yeah.
else. Hey, good job. Go. Oh my God, you're almost there.
Right.
Angela is so close to getting the fire poker. She finally gets her fingers on it, and a boot comes down and smashes on her hand.
Yeah.
She does not like this.
No. It hurts, I'm sure.
Because of this movement, the poker moves, and Evan is able to get it, and he's banging on the door. Again, one of those situations where the people trying to keep you captive, you banging on the door is not going to make any bit of difference.
Right.
Mitch comes in and sees that Bailey is bleeding. He's like, "Oh no, we need to get her out of here." Really? Thanks for letting us know, Sherlock.
You think? So I
Mitch
was
says
asking
that
for help.
Right. Says that he's got the keys to get out. Everybody looks at him and they seem confused. Don't know why. I mean, why wouldn't a haunt actor have some sort of key to let people out if it got too extreme?
Yeah, and they became super suspicious of him all of a sudden. Like, here's this guy, he sounds normal, he's talking normal, he's acting like he's gonna help you, and you're fine until he acts like he's really gonna help you, and then all of a sudden you're super suspicious.
Right. Like, who the fuck are you now? Like, why
Yeah.
are you helping us? Like, why?
Right.
Why do you have the keys? It's like, who knows? He could be the guy that set the whole thing up and he's the safety guy.
Right. He's the maintenance man.
So Nathan says that they just want to leave.
Mhm.
They don't want to talk to anybody. They don't want to talk to your manager. They don't want to be Karens about this whole thing. They just want to go. Mitch gets his keys and says, I'll let you guys out. So he opens up the door in the room that they're in. They run to another door. Evan is frustrated that he can't push the door open. Like, he's struggling really hard. And someone points out that the door says pull.
Yeah. This is the emergency door they were trying to get to. Yeah.
Correct. When they open up the door, they see the wall is completely bricked over. It's like yellow bricks or something, almost like
Right.
the yellow brick road
Yeah.
access or something.
Mhm.
Mitch says, "Oh, I remember there would be an exit there." So he's confused on why that it's blocked off. Harper mentions the tunnel. Hey, we got the tunnel we can go in. We can all go through that. Mitch says, they would all have to go one by one because there's a trick door that activates if there's too many people there. and then they become part of the show if they go through it.
Weren't they all in that tunnel before together? Is that the same tunnel or is this a different tunnel? Because they're going back now
I think
the way they came in.
I think it was a different tunnel, but for budgetary reasons, it seems like it's the same tunnel.
Well, because what's his name? Evan's like, I'll go first because I think I remember the way through it, through the maze. Because basically they're backtracking. Instead of going through the rest of the haunted house, they're going back the way they came in and they're going back through the not safe way.
Yeah, because Mitch
So
said that would be faster if they just backtracked and go through the rest of it.
well, no, Mitch was like, I thought Mitch said that we were almost at the end and that it would be faster to just go all the way through it than to go back. Because they'll end up splitting up again at some point or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, but Evan was like, I think he's like, I'm pretty sure I remember how to get through. So I feel like it's the same tunnel, which was confusing because they were all in
Yeah.
that tunnel at the same time. I don't know. I thought
Right.
that part was weird. It didn't make a lot of sense. It felt like a big
Yeah.
hole there. No pun intended.
Right. Maybe it was just that he was pointing out the trick door, so when it activates.
Yeah, maybe.
So Evan says that their friend is dead from all of this. Mitch dismisses it like, oh, she's not dead. She's probably outside waiting for you guys. It's
Right.
no big
Yeah.
deal.
I can't remember why they split up here. Do you remember why they split up here? Because they do split up
No.
in some way.
Yeah, no. It's like trying to follow The Walking Dead when they split up, get back together,
Yeah.
split up. After a while, you forget why they split up.
Yeah. Because
You just know that they did.
what's her name? Harper ends up with Mitch's keys.
Right.
And
Well,
what the
that
heck?
that comes that comes a little after this.
I just don't I don't know why. I literally just watched this today. I don't know why I don't remember this part.
So Mitch says, we're extreme, but we're safe.
Right.
Okay. Evan gets mad at him and yells for him to tell him his name. I don't know why, that's such a big
Yeah.
deal because, who cares what his name is?
Yeah, why does it fucking matter? He wanted to know his whole fucking name. I was like, the first name is fine.
Right.
Like, who
Right.
cares? Do you think you know this guy?
And so at this point, they call him Mitch because his name is Mitch.
Uh-huh.
Harper asks him, so he says his name is Mitch. And Nathan asks him his last name and to take the mask off. And don't know really what the last name really means or taking
Yeah.
the mask off does anything.
Right.
I mean, like it's not like this person, because you haven't said one thing about recognizing his voice or anything. So it's not like,
Well,
I mean, it
yeah.
could be Jim Bob from the local convenience store. I don't know, but
Right. And it's like, well, all the way through this whole time from, the truck following them and all of that. And even when you get to through the haunted house, I felt like they were trying to make us believe that her boyfriend has something to do with this haunted house. But I'm thinking, this can't be her boyfriend because she would recognize his voice. But the
yes.
way they're doing it, it makes it seem like they're trying to show, like he doesn't want to show you because it's her boyfriend. That's
Right.
just the feeling I got through the whole thing was that they wanted you to think it
Well,
was her boyfriend.
and at different points, though, she thought that different ones could have been her boyfriend.
Yeah. Mhm. And
You
it made
know,
it
be,
seem that way. Yeah.
right, right. Evan takes lead about finding a key to get out because he says, "Oh, I know how to pick a lock." Yeah, it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a great job last time.
Heard that before.
I don't know. I don't know if you got this or if I messed it up, but I do remember them saying that the order that people were going to go in was Mitch was going to go first.
Well, this is what I thought was stupid. So Evan was going to go first because this is Nathan again decided who was going to go where when.
Okay, see,
Like
I
he did.
thought for some reason I thought he said Mitch was going to go first, then Evan.
Evan was going to go
But
first,
okay,
then Mitch, then Nathan, who now has the crowbar to keep Mitch in line in case, whatever. I don't know. And then Bailey, and then Harper was going to be last.
right,
So, and I don't know why they picked those two in that order or whatever.
right. But Mitch never took off his mask.
No,
So they still don't trust him because he's still got the mask on.
right. Even though he's handed his keys over, he's been acting like he's super helpful, and they're still all of a sudden, for no reason, don't trust him.
Right. Yeah, because at this point, as they're discussing the order and where Harper is selected last, she tells Mitch that she wants his keys. So they start going through the tunnel one by one. Everybody else is at the tunnel entrance when they're hearing noises. Harper goes to a locked door to open it. And this is where she asks, "What key is it?" And Mitch is like all sarcastic. The
Uh-huh.
yellow one, obviously, because there's like the door is yellow. So apparently,
Right.
you match the color to the color. It makes sense. She tries the key, but it doesn't seem to work. At least that's what I got out of it. It didn't look like it worked because she's just stuck listening at the door.
Because she wanted to lock that door because there was a weird noise coming from the other side of that door, and because I remember this part because I was like, "You idiot! Do you think Mitch is the only one that has fucking keys in this whole place?" She goes
Right.
and locks it, thinking that's gonna keep whoever's on the other side from coming in. 'Cause I remember how stupid she was.
And I thought that she was trying to get through the door.
No, 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 she was trying to keep whatever
No, oh, no,
out
no,
there coming
now I
in.
get that, but
Yeah.
I thought she was trying to, like, open the door, and I'm like, "That doesn't make sense."
Yeah. I know,
Uh,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, "Why is this?" I don't remember where she went. Why was she
right.
going somewhere? Then I remembered because I remember I yelled at the TV a lot in this movie, and that was one of the times I yelled. I'm like, "What are you locking it for? You think he's the only one with a set of fucking keys, girl? Really?"
Right.
I was like, "Somebody this is a double lock. Somebody's gonna unlock it."
Right.
So anyway, so she was just trying to hold whoever was back there off so they could get
Yeah.
through. Yeah.
So Evan finally gets through, and he yells out, "I'm through." Mitch now goes through. Evan thinks he remembers the maze, but he has no clue.
And this is
And
again
the
where I yell at the TV. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Evan, you dumbass motherfucker. Why are you leaving? Wait till Mitch gets there and then wait until Nathan gets there. What are you
right.
fucking doing, you moron?" And he takes off and goes through the maze.
Yeah. And this is where there's gonna be a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
Mitch comes through the other side, and we hear some ominous music playing. He stands up Jason style, and he looks around the room. Now we're at Nathan, and he's nervous because Mitch hasn't told him that he's through yet. And it does take a little bit of time because we see Mitch in that room dragging some wood over towards the opening. And Mitch finally says, "Yeah, I'm through." Harper's still at the other door listening for the noises and the banging that's going on. Evan is now running through the maze. Nathan is going through the tunnel as he hears some banging going on. And now we see Mitch sealing off the tunnel. He's
Right.
hammering the entrance shut. Evan is being watched by someone else through a two-way mirror. Harper hears the door creaking and handle turning, the one that she's at still.
Mm,
Nathan is trying to get through the tunnel, and he's banging on the newly sealed entrance because he knows that that's the entrance, but he
right.
can't get through, so he's banging on it. Mitch picks up the hammer that he was using, and he goes on his merry way. Harper's trying to prevent the door from opening the best she can. She's like really trying hard not to let the thing open because now all of a sudden she's hearing like locks and keys and kind of like what you said, as if like,
Yeah.
Mitch is the only one that has keys.
Right.
So at this point at the tunnel, we still have Angela and Bailey as Harper's trying to prevent the door. She can't hold it off anymore, so she tells the girls to run.
Right, right, right.
And they're like, "Oh, no, we need to wait for Nathan's signal."
Right.
Bitches, fuck that shit.
I know.
Go.
I know, I was like, "Just go, just go. Who
Right.
fucking cares?"
So the guy in the red robe bursts through, knocking Harper down. He bolts towards the girls by the entrance. Bailey starts, books it through the tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
Angela's behind her, but she ends up getting pulled out by the leg, drops to the floor, and we see that the guy in the red robe has a devil mask, and he plunges his pitchfork right into her head. And this death scene looks a lot like Mallory's kill scene. So
Right.
there's really not much variety going on here. Harper's looking at this all in total fear. Devil pulls the pitchfork out of Angela's head and she drops down with a thud. He turns his attention to Harper and chases her as she runs. She opens the red door, which she's no afraid of stepping back. Yeah, we can cut
She
that part out.
basically, she gets to the red door, finds the red key, gets through it, and then closes it and puts the red key back in. Because again, and this is me yelling, they have keys.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't she break the key off?
Yeah, yeah, she was holding the key in there to keep him from putting his key in and turning it, I guess, and she was
Right.
keeping it like that so that he couldn't get through, but it ended up breaking, yeah.
Now we see Bailey going through the tunnel. She hears Nathan yelling out to him, and then all of a sudden he stops. We see Nathan on the floor as he fell through the trap door that Mitch discussed.
Uh-huh.
It appears that he's been knocked out from the fall. Hopper's still staring at the door that she just went through, and the person on the other end starts banging on it violently. Evan ends up outside and he sees the lockbox, or where the lockbox used to be,
Right, yeah.
because it is now missing. So their phones are missing, the lockbox is missing, the waivers are missing,
Mhm.
everything's missing.
Right.
We see a costume person in the haunt again, walking with the box. He's got a creepy clown mask, so now he'll be considered clown going forward.
Is this I could try to figure this out. Was this the same clown that was at the front when they first went in?
I
Or
think so,
no?
yeah. I think it was the
Oh,
same mask, yeah.
okay.
He puts the box on the table takes his mask off, but we don't see him right away. And he slams the mask on the table. Nathan, though he's not in the same room, jumps up awake at the same time that the mask is slammed on the table, making you think that they're in the same room, but they're not.
Right. Yeah.
He looks around the room that he's in. Evan is outside. He's all confused, because that's another thing about this movie. Everybody looks confused no matter
Yeah.
what they're doing. Either confused or fearful, one of the
Yeah.
two. He looks into the dark because it's pitch black out, and he ends up seeing Mitch. He asks Mitch, "Where is everybody?" Mitch says, "Oh, they're all behind him." This is where we're starting to question Mitch,
Yeah.
because
Maybe they had
earlier nobody trusted him, but I did.
right.
Now he's acting weird and creepy because he says everybody's behind him when they're not.
We know better.
Mitch walks closer to Evan. We now see all the cell phones that they had were dumped on the table, and the clown is going through them. This is where Harper breaks the key off into the door after she locks it. The devil comes through anyway. She drops to the floor, begging him not to hurt her. He looks on, takes the hood off, but not the mask right away. He kneels in front of her, then he pulls off the mask. But as he's doing that, Harper asks, "Sam, don't hurt me."
Yeah, so she says that, and before he takes off his mask, and this is where they try to make you think, "Oh, it's gonna be Sam," because she's like,
Right,
"Sam, don't hurt me," and then all of a sudden he, like, stops. Then he
right.
pulls the mask up, and we think it's gonna be Sam.
And
No.
he says, "Sam," in a gravelly voice. His face has like clown tattoos. He's got body modifications of like spikes coming out of his head.
Mhm.
He looks like a generic Darth Maul
Yeah, very
from
much.
Star Wars.
Oh, totally, yes. Yeah, he's a Dollar Tree version.
Yeah, that's the vibe he's putting off.
Right.
So the clown is still going through the cell phones. I mean, there's only 6 cell phones. I don't know how many you have to go through, but
And
he's
what's he
still going
going
through
through
them.
them for? I'm like, "What are you" like,
Right.
I was literally like, "What are you are you doing this because you need a fucking phone? Is that why you have this whole haunted house? You needed phones? Like, what the fuck?" Like,
In this situation, maybe he was just trying to find the survivor's weaknesses,
I feel like
like
he knew them.
right. But I mean, like in terms of like if they send a text to like one another saying, "Oh, I love you too." Okay, now I'm gonna kill that person in front of that person,
Maybe. I don't know.
kind of
I didn't
thing.
understand
I
the
don't
whole
know.
cell phone, why he
I'm
was going through them.
I'm reading into it.
Yeah.
I'm creating backstory. So as he's going through the phones, one of them rings. He answers it.
Why?
Who knows? But Sam's on the other end saying, "Who the fuck is this?"
Right, Sam's pissed. "What's this man answer my girl's phone?"
Right. Apparently, she didn't listen to me the first time. Clown asks, "Who are you trying to reach?" Sam says, "Harper." This is now when we see the clown's face.
Mhm.
His face is also modded to look like a clown. Like he's got clown tattoos on his face, like clown
Yeah.
makeup on his face, and his face is distorted into looking like a clown.
Yeah, I don't know why he needed the clown mask.
No idea.
Yeah.
He tells Sam on the phone, "You're too late, Sam," and hangs up.
I also felt like this guy was kinda old.
Yeah,
Didn't
he
seem
does
like
seem a
old?
little older.
Yeah.
Sam looks confused and miffed at the same time. Confiffed, if you will. I
Gotta
felt
write
like I
that
needed to
hold
make
on.
up a word.
I need to write that down. How do you spell that?
Confiffed.
2 F's.
It's a mashup of confused and miffed.
Hey.
Confiffed.
I gotta remember that word. I love new words.
Thank you.
Is that from the Latin?
The Latin word of piscicid office. So Sam goes back to his truck. Don't know why, because Sam at this point doesn't know where anybody is. So he gets to his truck and he starts driving off. Clown walks away from the phones and he ends up microwaving 3 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have just broke them. I don't know why we have to microwave them, but
I don't know. I was like, "What is he doing this for? What's the
right,
point of this? Why would you want to risk a microwave fire? You
right,
can just
exactly.
step on him, smash him against the wall. Did you think you were in Gremlins? Like, what's going on? You're confused movies? Like,
And Clown, as he's microwaving the phones, he looks over at a map, which apparently is a map of the haunt, but he's
oh,
focusing on the red door room.
yeah.
So now we're back at Harper and Devil. Devil tells Harper, "Oh, you have a pretty mask. You should take it off so we can see who you really are." As he says this, the curtain behind them opens because they're on a chain link fence and there's a curtain behind them. It opens and Nathan has a nail gun and he starts shooting at the devil. tells Harper to run. She does. Devil falls over. Harper ends up getting out of the door. Devil runs to the gate and stabs it with his pitchfork. Evan is outside with Mitch, and Evan is looking back at the entrance door that he came out of, asking again, where is everybody? Mitch asks, oh, do you still want to see my face? What? That's a little odd, but I mean, of course, he's trying to do it to be scary.
Yeah.
Evan is, guess what? Confused. We
Not
see
miffed.
Mitch,
Just
not miffed.
just just
He
confused.
just confused. He was not confiffed,
Nope.
just confused. Mitch has a hammer we see in his hand. It's being covered by his robes a little bit, so you can assume that Evan doesn't see it. And when Mitch is asking about seeing his face, Evan's like, yeah, I'm fine. I just want to go home. Mitch ends up giving Evan his address. Evan is not happy that he knows his address. Mitch says, well, my face is in a work in progress, but I think you'll like it. We're back to Nathan running through the maze, back at Mitch, because again, one of those useless scenes that didn't really need
Right.
to happen. But now we see Mitch's mask on the ground with blood flowing from behind it. We see a sneaker that's in it, and Evan is laying upside down. Mitch pulls a hammer out of the back of Evan's head. So we can assume through deductive
Mhm.
reasoning that
Yes.
Mitch possibly hit Evan in the head with a hammer. I'm using my contextual clues here.
Yes.
Now, his modded face is really weird looking.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be the ghost that he is in the mask,
Yeah.
but it looks more like Jason Voorhees as a child,
Right. Yeah.
but just white, like really, really white. He's breathing heavy after looking at Evan. He sticks the hammer in Evan's mouth and he pulls back, ripping the skin off, like his lips and like part of
Yeah.
his face back.
Right.
Harper's running through the ghost mannequin section of the haunt that we saw earlier, where we ended up meeting Mitch for the first time.
Mhm.
She's running up the stairs and she comes across a red bucket. She walks slowly towards it. She looks in and she sees like dead animals in various states of decay. She reaches in and is glopping around.
Yeah, I was like, because they had spray painted on the wall, reach inside or something like that, and I was like,
Yeah.
and it's just hanging from a rope. I'm like, "Just turn it over." I would have flipped
Right.
that fucker over and just pulled out whatever I needed, from that. I wouldn't have reached into all that goop,
Right.
not knowing what was in there.
And I use the term glopping because that's what
Mhm.
the subtitle says she was doing.
I don't even know that was a word. I learned all kinds of new words today.
Yep, yep. She was
Yeah.
glopping. Yep.
Okay.
She pulls out a flashlight out of the bucket. And as soon as she does, the bucket's pulled up and the lights go out, as if
Uh-huh.
we couldn't see that coming. It's pretty dark. A lot of times they still have like a lot of light. Well, I feel like they did immerse you in by making it a lot
Right.
darker. So it sets the mood quite nicely. She slowly walks the way she came. There's a part of the wall's tarped off. And as she's walking, door to her right creaks. Back to Nathan. He's walking through a backstage area and ends up kicking the ring that Bailey lost. He
Mhm.
looks over to the side, and we're on the back side of the armhole
Right.
bag.
Mhm.
And when he looks on the floor, he sees some razor blades. So
Yeah.
this is how Bailey got cut. We learn that this is the same room that the clown was in, and he's going for the phones. He hears a noise, so he grabs one and hides behind one of the tarps. He hears footsteps and banging, not like trying to scare him, just
Right.
the guy is like moving stuff around or whatever. There's a shadow that starts walking by him, and they stop at the tarp looking at it, and he's trying really hard not to breathe, very
Yeah.
loudly.
Right. He held his breath this whole time. I'm like, "Dude, you just knocked over some paint or something.
Right.
The fuck?"
So it's a bit of time that passes between them, and they're almost face to face when the figure ends up moving on. He holds his breath a little longer until the person walks away, and then he relieves himself.
He peed?
He didn't pee. He just relieved himself of breath.
Oh. Like, I missed that part.
Back to Harper. She's walking through the door that creaked open. She's hearing like these clanking sounds, and she's seeing that there's like a lot of makeshift weapons and traps, like a bunch of knives, sword, nails, other types of sharps that are all over the place. Sees a knife wind chime moving about.
My favorite type of wind chime, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. It's very welcoming.
Yes.
Harper says hello again as if someone's going to answer. As she's walking backwards, we learn that she walked over a thing of nails that were in the floor. So she's walking backwards, and we think that she's going to step on the nails, but she doesn't, at least not right now. A creepy masked person comes out of the darkness, and that's when she steps back really hard and steps on the nails. We see another creepy person in a mask and a dark robe sitting in a chair. And then we go back to Nathan. Again, one of those quick, weird shots. Like they do a lot of quick, weird shots in this movie.
Yeah.
And we're back to Nathan. He comes out of the tarp, and as he comes out, Mitch is standing there. And he's like, where are my friends? While he's doing this, behind his own back, he's trying to set an alert to whoever is paying attention as to where they are. Google Maps, makes a bing noise, which is always helpful. Thanks, Google. And Mitch hears this, because it's
Right.
pretty loud. He gets mad that Nathan is doing this, so he attacks Nathan, but Nathan is way too squirrely for him and gets away. Now we're back at Sam. He's in his
Mhm.
truck when he gets the location ping from Harper's phone. He turns around and drives back to the facility that they're at. So now back at Harper, she's in complete pain from stepping on the nails, and she pulls her foot off and stands up. And she does a relatively good job for just having like 3 or 4
Yeah.
nails stuck through her heel.
Right.
And she sees a knife trap door on the other side. And I think at this point, the door behind her was closed because I don't know why she didn't go back through it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only way out. So she sees these knives. Now we're back at Nathan. He finds a ladder. He goes up, and there's like a hatch that he's able to get through, and he sees the exit on the outside. Back to Harper. She sees how the trap door works, and she's tracking the rope with her flashlight to where it is. And she follows it to a creepy guy. The creepy guy that came out in the dark. So I don't know what mask that he had. I think it was a vampire. And he's cutting the rope. Now she's back on the floor and she's crawling fast. But she gets herself caught on a sticky pad that was like a fly trap, like a super
Yeah.
duper fly trap.
Really super duper sticky.
She's screaming in pain as she's trying to lift her hand up, and she pulls both hands up and skin comes off. And I'm not talking like the
Yeah.
first or second layer. I'm talking about like the
Yeah.
7-layer dip
Yeah.
level.
Right.
But she ends up like bolting it to the door, even though she's in all this pain, and she's able to get through before the knives come down. It looked like whether she would have either gotten stuck in that room because the door was closed, or she would have gotten hit by the knives.
I think that where that sticky stuff was, it would have trapped her right to where when those knives came down, it would probably would have split her in half.
Right.
So, yeah. Mhm.
So if she didn't have cat-like reflexes, she would have been a goner. She walks into another room, and it looks like it's a child's bedroom because it's got a pink bed, it's got dolls, stuffed animals. She pushes the dresser that's by the door in front of the door. Behind the dresser, there's some backward letters, and
Yeah.
it's very, very, very tricky to read.
Yeah.
She can't read them because they're backwards, so she pulls out a mirror.
You could read them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, she needs some
I
she
mean,
just so happens to have a mirror in her pocket.
right. I mean,
And
I have a bachelor's degree and I'm working on my master's, so yeah, I could read it.
but I was like, "You can't read that? You need to turn around and
Well,
use the mirror?"
that's exactly what I said. I'm like, "Really? You can't read that?" I'm like, "I understand you're under a lot of pressure and you're stressed out, but really?"
Yeah, right. I thought it was stupid that she went in this room in the first place, but
Right.
I was like, "This is a trap. Where are you gonna go, girl?" I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But anyway, this whole room I yelled a lot at the TV.
So she pulls out the mirror and she stands, towards the letters selfie style. And the backwards letters that she had trouble reading said, "Find the key to escape the haunt." Really not too hard, Harper, but, okay. And she sees another door on the other end. And ironically, it says "the end" with an elaborate lock on it.
Right.
She tries the key ring that she has on the door, but it's not working. She looks through another dresser and finds a piece of wallpaper. This
This is
prompts she prompts her to look at the wall that has a
I was like, "Really?" I was like, "You deduced all this from this stupid lining of in this drawer that, oh, let me turn around and look at the wall and look at the wallpaper." It's like, wow. No, but she can't read backwards. But anyway, this is an Eli Roth movie, by the way.
What's that?
This is an Eli Roth movie.
Oh,
Yeah, he produced it.
no, no wonder why.
I'm surprised
Uh,
it wasn't gorier.
not to piss off, the rest of our fan base, but I have not liked one single Eli Roth movie with the exception
Mhm.
of Sacrament. I think we talked about it before.
I don't know if
Like,
I've
not
seen
we didn't talk about it in depth, but I think we mentioned it and we talked about
I don't know if I've seen Sacrament. I've seen, of course, Hostel.
it. Eli Roth is one of those names where I hear it, it's like, "Oh, yeah, he's pretty good," but then I watch his stuff, I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay."
most of his stuff is well, Hostel was really, really gory. So, I was surprised that this one didn't have more gore in it, given that it was his movie. Well, he wasn't the director, he was just the producer, but
Right. But his
mm,
producer still has a lot of say in what goes on.
right, yeah. But, yeah, so anyway, go ahead.
She sees in the wallpaper is slightly newer and the same shape of wallpaper that she found in the desk drawer.
Mhm.
She removes the new piece of wallpaper, and we come across another brain teaser. It's more backwards wording. She
Ooh,
pulls out his mirror, and this time it says, "Dolls see all." So she had a hard time with that one.
yeah.
Harper looks around the room and she sees the dolls on the shelf, which
Mhm.
there are many of.
Lots.
She goes through the books and tears about some dolls, and until she finds the one that she needed, she instinctually removes the face of said doll,
Yeah,
and we have yet another major calamity paper, a note that she still needs that mirror on. It's a good thing she kept the mirror because,
yeah,
like,
thank
she
God.
really needed it this time.
Right.
And it says, "There's something under the bed." She turns to the bed and looks scared.
Yeah,
Like, is there a monster there?
and it's a pretty high bed.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Exceedingly high. I mean, I could
Yeah,
probably fit under it. We don't know what's going on with Bailey, Nathan, or Sam at this point, because they're
yeah.
supposed to be there, but we have no idea what's going on with any of them.
Mhm.
Harper walks to the bed, just continually like staring at it, like it's going to do something. She takes the blankets off, and on the fitted sheet, she sees like blood all over it, assumedly soaked into the mattress. She breathes really heavy in fear.
I thought that was completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
I was like, "What?" There was no point of having the blood on the bed.
no.
Nothing.
She looks under the bed and crawls under it.
Well, this is what I think is crazy, because first of all, she gets to the end of the bed. She gets
Yeah,
right up to it, and I'm like, "Why? This bed is really tall. You do not have to get that close to that bed, because there could be if there's somebody under there, why do you wanna be that close? Go
right,
all the way back, get down, look, see what
right,
you can see." And then she crawls from the bottom of the bed, under the bed, all the way to the back, because it's all the way over up to where, like, almost where the head is of the bed.
right,
Like, why didn't you just go at it from the side and just pull that
right.
thing out? Why do you wanna be stuck under this fucking bed, you idiot?
Less
I was
dramatic.
I guess. Well, I mean, 1, yeah, it's more dramatic, absolutely, but also it does set up for what comes next to an extent because
Right.
she has the flashback or whatever, but I was just like, in real life, who would do this? I would not do this.
Spoilers! God!
All I said was flashback. I didn't say what it was a flashback of. It could have been Nom.
As she crawls under the bed, she sees a spooky little music box. Kind of looks like something that you would find on the set of Wednesday.
Yeah, it's like a haunted house, like a decrepit old house, yeah.
Yeah. She plays it, and Pop Goes the Weasel is playing as the song. And when it stops, it pops open. This really funky looking key pops out.
Yeah. As soon
She
as I saw it, I
starts,
was like, "Oh, I know what she's gonna do with that."
yeah. Are you saying that there was some foreshadowing?
A little bit, a little bit. And I don't mean just to unlock the door.
Oh,
Okay.
no, I
Yeah.
get you. I smell what you're cooking. You are the rock right now. She starts hearing a banging on the door that she had blocked off, and apparently the dresser was not really heavy enough because there's a couple bangs and then the person pushes through. We see a person walking in who has like black shoes and gray pants, and we hear a voice saying, "Where are you hiding?" She doesn't tell him. I mean, she should know from her own experience that, when you yell out something, you don't say anything,
Right.
because now she's in the reverse position and now
Mhm.
she's doing
Right.
what they were doing to her.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
She's
see how it feels?
right. She's like, "Oh, now I know why they never answered me."
Right. And so now we're going back down memory lane again, and the times that her dad would come into her bedroom as she was a kid and she was hiding, trying
Mhm.
to find her. and we can assume what the family relation was like at this point, which again is horrible.
What do you mean?
I'm assuming that, he was probably like molesting her.
I didn't get that at all.
Well, I mean, the kid's trying to hide while he's like trying to find her and
Well,
talking
I
about
thought
good
because of
times.
what he was saying that it had to do with her mom, I thought because this is going back to what she had said earlier about her
Yeah.
and her dad and her mom. So I just thought she was hiding because of what was going on with her dad and her mom, and then you see
It,
something.
it could have
That's
been
I
either
didn't
or.
I didn't take it that way at all. Oh, okay. But go ahead.
Yeah. Now, Devil is there. So
Mhm.
whatever flashback that she was having that, Talon ruined, because she said there's a flashback coming.
Well, you didn't even tell the whole flashback yet. Are you done with the flashback part?
Well, he was just trying to find her and she was just hiding under the bed.
Well, she was hiding in the bed, and it flashes back, and you can see her, and you can see where he throws her mom across the room in the hallway, and the ring comes flying out, and the ring's
Oh,
there, and she
yes.
reaches out and grabs the ring, which is the ring that Bailey lost. This is a pertinent part of the storyline because she's in an abusive relationship, and her father was an abuser too. Then, of course, you have the whole ring thing. And again, it kind of plays a part in the whole how they make it seem like up until we see Sam in his truck somewhere. Sam, the ex-boyfriend, was a red herring the whole time because they
Mhm.
really kind of tried to make it seem like it was Sam had something to do with this thing going on. Anyway, but yeah,
So flashback over, the Devil Man is in the room and he's again telling her, "Oh, come out, come on out, take off your mask." He bends down and she stabs him in the eye with the key. Very rude, but
yeah,
I
saw
mean,
that coming. He saw that coming.
he falls over. She opens the door that she found the key on. She turns it, and it's basically like a saw lock where it takes like 45
Yeah.
minutes to
God.
turn and open and everything.
I was like, "Come on, door, hurry up."
As the door is going on, we hear more "Pop Goes the Weasel," and when reaches to the end of the song, a gunshot comes through the door.
Right. I was like, "Girl, are you gonna really stand right in front of that door? Have you not learned anything where you are?" Because I mean, I knew something was gonna be there. I wasn't expecting a gun, but I just knew that something was gonna be there, like, the way it was
Right.
set up. I was like,
Yeah,
"Get out
something.
from in front of this damn door." I mean, an alligator could jump out, I don't know, whatever, but just get out from in front of this fucking door.
Yeah, I mean, I always have to be cautious of jumping alligators, especially at work. Whenever I go into the med room, I never know when they're gonna jump out.
It's a hazard.
Alright, at this point, Nathan hears it, and he looks back because we see him, like, again, like one of those quick shots. He hears the shot, turns around, and then we see the shotgun, and it's resetting itself. The door that she came through that got blasted apart opens up, and Harper was hit, but she's not fatally hit. She crawls into the room while the devil is yelling about his eye. That's the other thing. Like, the people in this movie, they're confused and scared. The other people, they're not happy that they're getting hurt. So he's not happy about losing his eye. The gun ends up going off again
Mhm.
to nothing. I think that's just a plot device to let us know that it's still
It's still
functioning.
going. Yeah. I don't know how many shit, what are they called?
Rounds,
Are in this
shells.
shotgun. Yeah,
Yeah,
shells are in this shotgun,
right.
but there's a
Well,
good
we know
amount.
3 at least
Yeah,
because we got the one that caught Harper
right.
and we got the one that didn't work, like that didn't hit anybody.
But I always felt like you had to constantly almost reload these like a shotgun. I mean, was it like a regular shotgun?
I think it was. The Devil Man catches up to Harper and he's on top of her, choking her, and now he's like punching her hard. The gun resets again, and each time the gun is resetting, it's to the tune of "Pop Goes the Weasel." Devil Man is now just staring at Harper. She pushes her thumb up into his eye's whole hole
Right?
and pushes his head up. The gun goes off and catches the top of his dome, blowing it completely up,
Right.
and he dies.
Bye-bye, devil.
The gun resets again. Devil Man falls over. Harper pushes him off. She stands up, walks towards the gun as it goes off again, not knowing if there's anything else in there.
I was like, "Why is she standing up when she knows this gun keeps going off? Just stay down and crawl past it, you idiot." But she
Right.
stands up, and then she puts her hand out like
I was
that's
gonna say,
gonna
puts her
stop
hand
it.
out like,
Yeah,
"Stop! Don't shoot!"
right. Like, what the hell?
But it clicks,
Ugh,
it's empty.
yeah.
Now, again, keep in mind, she's walking really well for having like 3 nail holes in her
Yeah.
heel, a shotgun blast to the chest or stomach area. Granted, it didn't seem like it did a lot of damage because she was probably far enough away, but
Yeah.
still, you know,
Like nicked her maybe? I don't know.
right. I mean, it would still hurt. She tries to pull the gun off of its stand, which I don't know really why, but she did. The lights come on. She looks behind her towards a plywood door because it looks like the way this looks, it's almost like they're in a semi trailer truck, like in the
Yeah.
back. That's ultimately not where they were, but that's just what it looked like.
Yeah. They had made it very long and narrow.
Yeah. So now we flash out to Clown. He's at their minivan. He breaks out the window. He's looking for the keys, and I believe he finds the keys up in the visor, which I don't know why people do that.
He didn't. He
Why
didn't
do
find the
you
keys.
He didn't find the keys?
He didn't find the keys.
Okay.
Evan had the
Um,
keys on him, but he didn't find the keys. I just didn't know why he cared about the van. Like,
right.
why was he looking for the keys? What was he doing with the
Pro
van? Did he
Probably
need, is
had
that why
probably he could have been trying to hide it,
well, maybe. I just thought
hide the
maybe he just
evidence.
wanted to, like the cell phones. Maybe he just
Right.
needed a van. All this to get a van.
I mean, he probably wanted to live by the river.
Maybe.
Clown guy looks for keys, doesn't find them. He walks back towards the building, and now we see 2 other lesser known creepy guys in costumes. We don't really know who they are because some of these guys, they're common throughout the beginning, and towards the end, we just keep being introduced to new ones that we have no
Yeah.
idea where they came from. At this point, like he's going into the building, into the room where they had the cell phones and everything, and that's where the 2 new creepy guys are. And he turns on the lights to all of the rooms in the building. Mitch is standing in front of the one with the black robe and the creepy mess that we saw earlier, in that quick shot, and asks if they're ready. And skeleton
Yeah, it was like
person,
Skeletor.
yeah, it was like a demonic skeleton sort of face.
Yeah.
Starts walking through the haunt, and they're going through each room, looking at some of the carnage that was left behind.
When this person was walking through, I was like, "Why are they walking so slowly and creepily? They don't have anybody they need to scare anymore. Like, what are they doing?" Because this
Yeah,
person, the way this person looked almost, it looked like they were like the head person. Like they had been
yeah,
sitting back this whole time waiting for everything to happen, and they were just gonna go through and check out the scene. But they were walking so slowly and so
yeah.
precise. Like, I was like, "Why? Why are you just go through it, dude? Like, what are you going so slow for? Why are you being so creepy?"
Yeah,
Anyway.
I like you, I thought it was like some sort of like final ultimate boss sort of
Yeah.
thing. But Harper walks up behind him and knocks him out.
Mhm.
Then, with the devil's pitchfork, she stabs him. As
Mhm.
the camera pans up over to the person, we see that there are hands that are tied. Harper takes off the mask, and it was Bailey all along.
I actually was shocked at this part
Were you?
because I completely forgot about Bailey. Because the last time
Oh,
we saw
yeah.
her was when she was going through the tunnel following Evan and Nathan and everybody else, and then
Well,
I just completely forgot she existed. It's
yeah.
like,
I
was
mean,
not expecting it all because like you, I thought this was like the final boss guy, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that was quick. She got rid of this guy quickly." And then, "Oh, no. Fuck, it's Bailey. Shit."
yeah. I mean, I was shocked to find out that Bailey was the head leader of all of this.
Yeah.
Harper lifts her up, hugging her. Bailey's like some of Bailey's finally words are they're coming for you.
Right.
And Bailey dies. Now, in this scene, Harper just stabbed one of her best friends.
Right.
Okay. She doesn't even say sorry. All she says is, no, 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 no. No, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. No, no, no.
Right.
Where's the apology?
Bailey. Yeah. Maybe
So
she'll
now
just write her an apology note later on.
at
Send
her
it in the
grave.
mail. Yeah.
Right. So now we're at Sam's truck. He gets out and he's going into the haunt. Apparently, he's the knight in shining armor of this group.
Yeah, at this point, I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me. They're gonna make this abusive boyfriend the
The
savior of
hero.
this
Right.
group, the hero?" I was like, "No fucking way. What the fuck?"
So he's walking through the haunt utilizing Harper's GPS signal, and he comes up across this pipe that is like smoking, almost like smoke rings. He
Yeah.
looks at
Mhm.
it, turns, and is walking down the hallway very cautiously. There's a figure in the foreground. It's Clown. As he's stepping towards Clown, he trips the tripwire that was set up earlier, and something hits him in the neck. I thought it was like a a sleeping dart or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
It comes out of the pipe he looked at, nails him in the neck. He pulls it out, and it's a massive screw. Did not expect Sam to get screwed in this, but
Yeah.
he did. Clown guy walks towards him, picks up a brick, and drops it on Sam's hand.
Mhm.
Because at this point, Sam's not quite dead yet. Monty Python hasn't come to collect his body yet. He finds a sledgehammer and he stands over Sam's body and he golf swings his head. So he golf swings the sledgehammer to Sam's head. So now we can assume Sam's gone. So we now
Oh,
know for sure that Sam is not part of this.
right.
Hopper is back hearing the chainsaw guy and going through the plywood door that she was in. And there's a hammer banging on the other side, and she's freaked out, because we all think that because of the
Right.
sledgehammer that it could be Clown. We learn that it's Nathan, and he's going to save her from Walmart Leatherface.
Yay!
Mitch ends up stopping Nathan from being the hero by body checking him and knocking him over
Huh.
and kicking the shit out of him. Harper finds some shotgun shells on the ground. I don't know how. They're not spent, they're there.
Mhm.
Walmart Leatherface is coming closer. Somehow she is able to load the shotgun and get a shot off just as the Walmart Leatherface gets near her enough to be able to cut her with a chainsaw.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, she's now got a sawed-off shotgun," because his chainsaw was going through the end of for whatever reason, I don't know why, but it
Right.
was going through the end of the shotgun, and I think it sawed it off enough, made it short enough, so when she shot it off, somehow miraculously, it got the guy.
Right.
She shot him. I was like, "Oh."
He's dead. And Mitch is still beating the shit out of Nathan. And he pulls out his hammer and he goes to put it in Nathan's mouth. When Harper breaks through the damaged plywood wall, Mitch ends up asking Nathan if he still wants to know his name. I'm assuming at this point his last name, because we all know
Yeah.
his name is Mitch.
Right.
And Harper comes up behind him, hitting him in the head with something. I don't know what it was, but hits
Oh.
Mitch in the head. And she helps Nathan up and pulls him away. Again, I don't know how because of the injuries that she has. She's the one that's helping Nathan.
Right.
Way to go, Nathan. Way to be the knight in shining armor, the savior of the group.
Well, he was
Uh,
choking. He kept choking.
True.
After when they kept walking after this, he kept going, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Dude, really? Did he choke you that bad? Come on now."
As they're walking out, she looks over to the side and she sees Sam's body. No emotion, just walks off. So Harper and Nathan come to the ladder that Nathan found earlier. They're going up. As Harper gets through, it comes slamming down and blocking Nathan from getting through.
Uh-huh.
He's still alive. Nothing happened to him. He's just blocked from leaving. And we see the witch lady who killed Mallory earlier.
I'd forgotten about. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Well, no, that was Angela. You forgot about Angela.
Well, I also forgot about this witch lady.
Oh, the
Forgot I
witch
was like
lady. That's
when I
right.
saw her, I was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, she's still left."
Yeah. So she ends up kicking the lid down so Nathan can't get out. And the witch asks Harper, "Do you think you're the only one that's made it this far?" Nathan is banging on the lid as if it's going to do anything. At that point, the witch starts walking closer to Harper.
Super dumb.
Nathan pops out, grabs her by the ankles, pulls her. She face plants down onto
Yeah.
the ground. Nathan pulls her closer to the lid, and Harper slams her head in the lid at least 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Nice.
Then Nathan pulls the witch down after Harper's all done playing. Nathan looks down like, God damn. At this point, Clown is walking through the oil bag alley.
Yeah.
He lights a lighter and sets the wall on fire because that also has some oil on it. So he's
Mhm.
burning the place down. Harper sees one of the people, like one of the haunt people coming, and tells Nathan, "Go." And they're both running, and then Nathan stops, runs back, and gets his
Mhm.
baseball bat
Right.
for him from his costume. So they end up reaching a fence at the same time. It's one of those barbed wire fences on the top, and so Harper's trying to climb over. Guy ends up chasing them. Nathan gets all manned up and starts walking towards them, not understanding the fact that the guy had a gun on him still. He raised the
Right.
gun, shot Nathan in the stomach, but he's all bulked up with
Oh, yeah.
adrenaline, runs to the guy, disarms him with the baseball bat, and then smashes him in the head with the bat. We see inside the building, it's slowly catching fire as Clown looks on. Hopper and Nathan are at this point going through the woods, and Nathan's gunshot starting to have difficulties because he's having trouble walking. Hopper is still doing a fantastic job walking.
Yeah, and carrying
Um,
Nathan, basically.
and carrying Nathan. She's a tough one. They make it to the road and they see Sam's truck and they drive off at dawn. You know, because
This
dawn
is
is
where the
coming up.
movie could have ended quite easily, by the way. I was like, "Oh, good, it's over." Then I was like, "Oh, shit, it's not." This was like a 2-hour movie.
An hour and a half.
Oh, my thing, I thought I said 2 hours.
Yeah,
Maybe it
hour and a
wasn't that
half.
well, maybe it just felt like 2 hours.
As they're driving off, there's sirens. Now we see Harper and Nathan at a hospital. They're loading Nathan up on a gurney and getting him all set. They're holding hands because remember they just met at the beginning of
Yeah,
the night, and now all of a sudden they're holding hands and doing like
yeah.
things that couples would do.
Whenever you go through a traumatic experience with someone like that, you're bound to fuck.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean,
There's no getting around
y-
it.
none
That's
whatsoever.
that's part of the movie magic.
Right.
Mhm.
So he's being taken away, and at this point, she's holding the ring that her mom had, and she starts crying. We see her drive to her childhood home. She knocks on the door, and her mother appears. They embrace. They're crying. There's some weird shots of the house. They come back to the mother and daughter as they hug. Clown pops up behind them, and she jumps up out of bed and she's still in the hospital. Her hands are bandaged up. She looks at the ring, realizing that that part was a dream. She was hoping that it looked like she was hoping that the whole thing was a dream.
Yeah, I was too.
But the nurse comes in saying that her friend is fine,
Mhm.
but she needs to sign some release forms.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but at this point, though, the nurse already broke HIPAA
Right.
because she's not supposed to tell her how her friend's doing because that
Well,
breaks his privacy.
I also love that well, you haven't said it yet, so I won't ruin it. Go ahead.
So now we see a clipboard and a truck with a release form on it. There's a sledgehammer in the back and a clown mask on the rearview mirror. A white van pulls up to Harper's mother's house. Now we see the clown and he's
Mhm.
standing at the at the road staring at the house. He breaks in the house and looks down. He's stuck on flypaper sticky tape, kind of like what Harper was on.
Yeah.
We hear Pop Goes the Weasel in the background. He's getting a little scared and he gets himself out. I mean, he fucks up his boots, which is kind of rude. I mean, boots are expensive.
No shit.
As he gets out of it, he ends up falling over and he ends up falling on nails on the floor. Again, he's not happy that this is happening. He looks up and he sees a shotgun missing on the wall because like you see over exaggerated dust and
Right.
the silhouette of a shotgun. Harper steps out of the dark, lifts the shotgun up and says, "Let's lift your mask up," and shoots him. That's the end of the movie.
Mm.
Now, a weird part of this to me, aside from the other weird things, there was an acoustic version of Rob Zombie's
Yeah.
Dracula playing.
Yeah, it was,
It
some
wasn't
woman.
horrible.
No.
The
Mm-mm.
person's name was Lissie,
Yeah,
Lissie. Wasn't horrible, but it was very strange at the same time. End of movie.
end of movie. So, the ending was stupid. Just gonna say, I hope I don't piss anybody off. But
I don't know. Haunt seems to be like one of those movies that goes around in the circles and, it's
does
got
it?
no.
Oh. So, when she's in the hospital room and the nurse comes in and she's like, "We just need you to fill out these release forms." She gives the nurse a look like, "My god, release forms? They
Right.
know where I live." First of all, why she thought the guy even made it out of the fire up in flames warehouse, I don't know. But
The
she
contingency
immediately
plan.
right. She immediately knew this guy was gonna go to her house, her mom's house, who I don't think still lived there, so I don't know what she was worried about, and I don't know, kill her mom that isn't there. So she goes and sets up all these traps for this guy. And I was like, "What?" I was like, "This is stupid." Like, they literally could have ended it when they got into Sam's truck and were driving away and sirens were going off. That could have been it. That'd
Yeah.
been done. This whole extra little part here where they're at the hospital was completely unnecessary. And when she woke up from her dream, I thought for a brief moment that she looked at her hands and she's looking at whatever. I thought for a moment that maybe all of that was a dream and she'd really gotten beaten up by her boyfriend, and this is all
Yeah.
about being abused and domestic abuse or whatever, which would
Right.
have been a better ending. than the ending that
And
they gave us.
I think it would have been a decent story.
Yeah, yeah, like, all of that was just her rendition of what it felt like to be in this abusive relationship with this asshole, and it would have made his part in the movie make more sense. Because
Yeah.
honestly, his part in the movie was pointless, it was just whatever. I mean, the only reason they had him in the movie was to make the intensity seem like he was part of what was going on, so he just really I don't know. I was like, "This ending is so dumb, like,
Right.
why? Why is this the ending?" I would love to know if there was an alternate ending or if that was the original alternate ending and they decided to make that the real ending.
Like a
I don't
director's
know.
cut?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, anyway, it reminded me a little bit of a couple of other movies. It kinda reminded me have you ever seen Escape Room?
Yes.
Yeah, it kinda
Which
had
one?
that feeling the first one. I've only seen the first one, I haven't seen the other ones.
Well, there was a couple made called Escape Room. They had nothing to do with each other.
Oh, oh,
They
okay.
came out around the same time, just both with the same name.
Oh, alright.
And then they also have Escape Room 2, which came after one of them.
Okay.
The better of the 2.
I'm not sure which one that I watched, but it was, all I can really remember is, like, it was in a big warehouse or whatever, and everybody died, and the girl got out at the end and,
Yep.
just, the same. But it kinda had that feeling to me, the movie did, and it kind of a little bit, but not as well done, reminded me of the one we did, No Escape, a little bit, just the feeling of it kind of, because 'cause they're all trapped in whatever, so it all kinda has the same feeling in terms of just how you feel. But I don't know, it was an okay movie. I felt like there were a lot of holes in the movie that, like, they just fucking had a plan for everything. Like, those motherfuckers had a plan and a backup plan and a backup plan for the backup plan. And I'm like, "This is really far-fetched." I mean, I realize it's just a scary slasher style movie, whatever, but I was just like, I don't know." Oh, I will say though, I was glad because at one point when they were gonna go back out and go through the tunnel and to go back out the front way, I was super bummed because I thought what they were gonna do. Because curiosity in me, not knowing what was in the rest of this haunted house, was like, "Fuck, I wanna know what's going on in the rest of this haunted house." So I was I was a little irritated at first, but then I was like, "Oh, good, good. They're gonna go through the rest of this house so I can see what else is going on." So I was happy about that. I would give this
Mm,
movie, I don't know, 3.5 cents maybe, 4 cents maybe, somewhere in there, 3.5 to 4 cents. I mean, it wasn't
okay.
spectacular. It had its bumps that I was just like, "Whatever."
I didn't hate it, but it certainly isn't a favorite. I liked it better than other Eli Roth movies, whether he's
Mhm.
directed or produced.
Right.
I was frustrated with the extra characters that didn't really need to be there, like
Yeah.
Angela and Sam. I understand that they were plot devices, to make things like creepy and throw you off the track or whatever, but they really had no real like you could cut them out and it wouldn't have made of any kind of difference.
Yeah, the only use for Angela was just an added death scene that looked exactly the same as Mallory's death scene.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what disappointed me, that the two death scenes were basically the same exact thing.
Yeah.
The only difference was when the devil pulled his pitchfork out. That
Yeah.
was the only difference of the
Right.
2, which is a little frustrating,
Mhm.
because I like to have my death scenes with a little variety.
Yeah. Come on, spice it up. Throw some salt and pepper in there.
Exactly. Some of the plot holes I didn't really realize until you mentioned them,
Mhm.
and, like, having them all predict everything that's gonna happen, like,
Yeah.
Nathan losing the key in the grate and things like that. The random shots annoyed
Yeah.
me, they weren't needed. So, I
Mhm.
mean, there was a lot of things in the movie that if they got them out and tightened it up a little bit,
Right.
I think it could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
As far as the ending, I love a good revenge part of the story, so
Mhm.
I love the fact that she was able to get her revenge. I just didn't like where they put it
Yeah.
and how they did it. I mean, I not this like the scene itself was fine.
Uh-huh.
It's just where they put it and how it was set up. Like that's the
Yeah.
part that got weird to me because it was almost like when they went to the house, it almost reminded me like the ending of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. Mm.
A
Oh,
little bit. Like just like looking at the house and then like when the guy goes in, it kind of reminded me of when Freddy turns that girl into a cockroach and she can't get out.
right. Mhm.
So like little things like that, I could see whether or not it was influenced by those things. I could see some of that influence,
Right.
but at the same time, like I didn't necessarily like the idea that she was doing like the same exact thing as what they did, because like I don't know if you've ever seen like I Spit on Your Grave, the remake, but
No, I haven't seen the remake.
oh god damn, it's good. I loved it. I mean, I don't love what happens to the girl, but I love
Right.
the revenge that she gets. And I really bring that up because like everything that she did for revenge was much different than what they did to her. I feel that that's what could have been better with this, because again, like I like a good revenge movie as much as I like horror movies, and I feel like they could have given her a better story arc for that. If that's the route that they were going to go, I feel like they could have done a little bit better with that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I didn't if she had gotten her revenge maybe at the warehouse, it would have made a little more sense, but just that whole it was just so weird. It's like
Yeah.
because this girl couldn't fucking read backwards, but but a nurse telling her, "Oh, I need you to fill out these release forms." She suddenly connects the dots.
Right.
What? I was like, that part irritated me. I was like, "There's no way this girl just put those 2 things together," but she did it before. But what was the other thing that I was like, "Oh, she put it together," and I was like, "What?" But I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it's like,
The key and the door working together, matching the color of the door to the key.
well, no, there was something else, and I know I talked about it. I'll know when I go through the edit that what it was, but there was something else that she put together, and I was like, "How did she put those 2 things together, like, out of nowhere? Like, what
Right.
the fuck?" Or maybe it may not have been her, maybe it was one of the other characters, but somebody, put something, like, just pulled it right out of their ass, like, "How the fuck did you come up with
Right.
that?" Yeah. We're supposed to
Um,
believe this?
so when we talk about if it was on TV and I was just flipping through stations and I couldn't find something to watch,
Mhm,
I'd probably put it on. I
mhm.
mean, I wouldn't go seeking it, but if it was
Right.
there, I'd probably watch it. Just because of the parts that I did like, I would give it a 4.5 cents.
Okay, we're not that far off.
No.
The way you were talking, I thought you were gonna give it, like, an 8.
No, 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 not even close to an 8.
It's got, like, a
No.
6.3 on, IMDb, so alright, is there anything else you'd like to add to this?
Put a sock on it.
We've got socks. Alright, so Haunt reminds us that sometimes the scariest thing isn't what's behind the mask, it's realizing you paid for it. Nothing says Happy Halloween like funding your own murder. Next week, we're keeping the Halloween chaos going with Night of the Demons, where the party goes from bad to possessed faster than you can say lipstick scene. You can find it almost anywhere: Roku, Tubi, Pluto, Amazon Prime, etc. And as always, be scared, be prepared, and don't get caught in the dark.